Have you seen any of these backpacking videos for? Sorry, the guy's Scottish. It's addictive, the accent. This one is called Wild Camping Adam, Beginner Wild Camping Kit Guide. I, it's not what I would call the beginner's guide for kits. The two things so far that he's actually talking about, the first thing that he was talking about was a tent. Just get yourself this basic tent. It only costs you about between 70 and £140. So you're talking between 100 and 150, well, between 100 and $200 for the tent. And it's a small tent. I'm 5'7" and I would have to scrunch up in there and I'd be touching the sides. And that's for a couple of $100. And you think, and it's not even a very good rating. It's only good enough for moderate rain, not heavy rain. So if you get big raindrops, it'll go straight through. So there's no space to keep your pack or your kit or anything inside, and that's £100. And the next thing he talks about is his sleeping bag. It's only rated at 0 degrees Celsius. My £10 sleeping bag, which weighs less than that one, it weighs less, and it's rated at minus whatever the hell. It's a it's a good rating sleeping bag. I'm not going to say what the rating was because it was probably bollocks, but it's got a good amount of quilting to it. It's got a good waterproof outer layer, and it keeps you snug. And it cost me £10. I think between ten and £20 it cost. That one is £100, and it weighs more, and it's rated less. So he's doing the usual thing that all these channels do. He's doing it from an upper middle class perspective of someone who has a lot of money to spend, who can afford to spend £100 on a tent, £100 on a sleeping bag. You know, it's $150 for each. Basically, $300 for a tent and a sleeping bag. And I spent, for my hammock that's coming, that's going to cost me £30. The extra polytunnel plastic, which is going to act as a 100% waterproof in the typhoon conditions, as well as a wraparound blanket, because it's a 4 by 10 meter piece of plastic, thick polytunnel plastic. That was a tenner. And my sleeping bag was, I think it may have been £20, I can't remember. Either way, for less than £60, my entire sleep system is done. Adding another, what, 10, £15 on top is my inflatable mattress. So for less than, what, £70? Less than $100, my entire sleep system is done. Just two items for him is £200. Yeah, this is the wealthy person's way of doing it, not your average person's way of doing it. I know nothing about him or his channel. I just downloaded random videos. That's what I do. I just do a keyword search. I just download random videos. I don't even look at who it is doing it or the titles. I just download a random load. I'm going to guess this person either has a shop or he works in a shop and he's flogging stuff. That is all I can, that's what I'm assuming. Because now he's talking about selling these stick on heat patches. If you're going to be going in a cold weather, you want to put these on your feet, stick them on, and put them on your chest. Right, the last thing I want to do, if I'm in an environment where there's no bugger to help me around, is put chemicals on my body that I don't know what they are, what they do. Least of all, something that's going to have some kind of adverse reaction to me. And that's what these things do. They're basically, they're going to melt your flesh. You've got no way of knowing if you're going to react to them, if you've been tested on a Caucasian person or an Afro person, or how they're going to react to them, and you want to go to sleep wearing them. So that. If you want to do something along those lines, then what you can do, you get yourself a piece of magnesium, you get yourself a little magnesium strip, you put it in a thick, thick, thick plastic bag, or one of those mayonnaise or ketchup bottles. You put it in there. You put in some, maybe like 50%, fill it with salt, add water, give it a good old shake, and that will give you a thick saline solution. You smack that bottle, and that magnesium strip will go kink, and that will all warm up. Not enough to burn you, but it'll warm up. What he's talking about doing is putting foreign chemicals on your body to warm it up, to give you a false sense of heat. If you want to do that, go and get yourself some deep heat or heat rub or whatever the cheap brand name is of the basically chili sauce you rub on your body as a muscle stimulant. You get some of that, rub it on your feet, they'll warm up. And he's talking about spending like 10 quid for basically a little patch that you stick on your body to warm it up for a little bit. The adhesive that sticks it on is going to cause you damage. He mentioned briefly about sleeping mats. Didn't talk about how much they cost, but the two that he showed, I had a quick look, and they're £75 each. And you can stack them one on top of the other. Really, can you? So we're up. So far, we're up to about three, four, five, four, 5.5. I think we're on about £5,500 so far. That is just for his tent and sleep system, and that just doesn't include the pillows and the quilts he's on about. Now he's talking about a camping stove. I don't want to be one of these people that's constantly saying, don't want to do it like that. But you don't want to do it like that. He's talking about gas because that is what America wants people to sell. But he's also talking about twig stoves. Oh, they're no good. Yeah, it depends on your environment. Well, if you know you're going to the woods and there's going to be trees that you can use for burning, then it's okay to take a wood burner, isn't it? It's like I take a little wood burner because I know I'm going to the friggin' woods where there's lots and lots of sweet chestnut trees and lots and lots of dead branches on the ground. And I don't have a great big bonfire. If you've seen any of my videos, then you'll see that when I go out, I'm not having a massive bonfire. I'm burning a couple of dead twigs, like a dead branch, because I don't need very much fuel to heat up my water for my noodles. I'm literally boiling one little, what, eighth of a litre, an eighth, 0.8 of a litre, 800 ml of water for my noodles. That is all I'm doing. I'm not doing it to look pretty or to stay warm. It's the middle of friggin' June. So I'm using, less than my arm's length of wood. And he's talking now about using alcohol. I've got one of those little things. You get that's what you get in a trangia. Is for using liquid fuel, alcohol, that kind of stuff, spirits, which is fine if you can buy this stuff. I cannot find the fuel for those things anywhere. I can't find them online because nobody has sent it to you online. I can't find it in any of the shops in my town where I live in Somerset. I've been to the biggest town, the capital town of the county, which is Taunton. Nobody sells it. I've been to surplus stores. Nobody sells it. Nobody wants to sell this stuff anymore. For some reason, I think it's because it's not controlled by America, because anybody can make alcohol. I can make it. I do make it. That's what's in that big bottle over there on the floor. But it's a case of it would cost so much for me to make it compared to buying it in a shop. But he's talking about these only three options: gas, twigs, and liquid and spirits for alcohol, for alcohol spirits for burning. He's not mentioning any of the other options. Now, I don't know if it's because of his age. He does appear to be relatively young, but I think it's more a case of he seems to be selling stuff. He seems to be only promoting certain things that you can buy in a shop. Because otherwise, why isn't he talking about other stuff? Like you can get these, sometimes they're called paraffin blocks. It's like a small cube, like a firelighter. You can get firelighters. Buy a firelighter. You can use one of those, put it in that little thing, and it makes it very smoky on the bottom of your pan. But you can use that to boil water. You can use tea light candles. They're a bit bulky to carry, but they do the job. You put a couple of those in there, they'll boil your water. But he only seems to be talking about things that you can buy in certain camp shops. And people often ask me, how safe is these things, these fuel for the fires, these methylated spirits? Well, when it's lit and it's on fire, it's quite dangerous. No shit, Sherlock. So his cookware setup was basically he's got the little burner from a Trangia. He's got a fold up aluminium or steel windbreak that goes around the food, around the cooker, which is kind of okay. But if you're in a situation whereby you got something like that, then you could just go and get some rocks or some clumps of grass, or you could build a windbreak or a situation where anyway. And he's got a basic saucepan with a lid, same as what I've got really, except he's got a little teapot that goes with it, so you can boil water separately, which I don't have. But then, if I wanted one, I'd buy one. It's just because I'm just going out for the one night. As much as I'd love to have a cup of coffee when I'm out, or a cup of tea when I'm out camping, I'm out for the night. I can go without caffeine for 24 hours. Only just. I need my caffeine in the mornings. I need my coffee in the morning. But I can go without for the night, having to have caffeine. But now he's talking about lights, and he's reading an AI script. You know he's reading an AI script because he's talking about things that he doesn't actually have. He's saying it's very important when you have your lights, so you have to make sure you take your lights and your batteries with you. And then he's talking about having rechargeable lights. Well, if you've got rechargeable, you don't have to take batteries, do you? Because there's no batteries to take. Your batteries are inside them because they're rechargeable. Yeah, he's basically just doing his AI scripted thing. You know, AI says to say this, so he says it like a twat. So rather than just thinking, they're rechargeable, I don't need batteries. But AI told me to say it, so I must say what AI says. Yeah, this AI thing is doing my nut. Because quite a few videos I download to watch, I download binge watching things. There's one load and it's retro something. Um, Iconic Star Rewind, it's called. And it's all AI. Everything. And you don't notice it. You think it's just like an American person reading a script. Except there's certain things they'll. And now we're going to be watching an episode from the man from UNCLE. What? It's actually the man from Uncle. But for some reason, every now and again, they'll hit a word that AI doesn't recognize, like uncle. And they'll just say the man from UNCLE. It's similar to thing to this. It's AI scripted. He might not be AI, but he is reading a script written by AI. What an absolute twat. He's saying rather than wearing waterproof boots, which I wouldn't do, but I would still wear walking boots that are water resistant. You know, so they're waterproof from, say, the ankle down. What he's talking about doing is because, oh no, your feet are sweaty, that's a death sentence, you'll die. So you have to wear thin shoes. So your feet can breathe, and that way your feet get soaking wet because you're wearing thin socks, and that way you can dry them out more easily. Really? And how exactly the fuck are you going to dry them out in that piss out little tent when it's raining? Yeah, he's a cretin. Absolute cretin. He's talking about wearing thin trainers that let all the water in. It's just, there's no logic whatsoever. Yeah, he's definitely got this from AI, or he's done a little search, what should I have in this bag? So he's got little medical things inside their own individual baggies, which are all inside another bag, which are all inside his medical bag, which is waterproof as well. They're all waterproof, which is also inside another waterproof bag, which goes inside another waterproof bag. He's keeping Trump's economy going quite well with the amount of plastic he's getting through. That's why he's ticking like the Jewish boxes and the American boxes. Use as much plastic as you can, you idiot.